Hi YouTube, welcome back to Super Lorcana World. We are continuing the series where I review every card from the first chapter and doing it by the ink. We're doing Ruby right now. Ruby has some very powerful cards in it, like most red decks and red games do. So we're going to go over these cards. I'm going to let you know what I think about them in terms of competitive play. You know, I read these cards, I understand these cards, and as a competitive card game player for like years now, I think I have a general good framing of these cards in particular because aggressive cards are very interesting creatures, right? Their big plan is just either smash or just take your opponent's life away, basically. And I think that Ruby is the embodiment of that in this game, with the odd exception card, of course, which we'll get to when we get to. What is your favorite Ruby card? Do let me know in the comments, and of course, please like and subscribe. We are a new channel trying to grow, and this is your one-stop shop for everything Lorcana. It is. All right, we're going to start off with the Maleficent, the big dragon. The 9-cost, 7/5, quest for 2, Dragon Fire. When you play this character, banish chosen opponent's character. I think 9-drop is a little bit steep for that, but it's powerful. I will say that. I probably wouldn't play. I think it's way too high. I think it's way too powerful. I don't think it's going to be that good. Mickey Mouse, another card that costs way too much, but it's an 8 that quests for 4 and has evasive. That's a 5/5. I'm going to give you guys my little evasive thingy here. In testing, evasive characters, if you give them ward, like say with the blue Aurora with Protective Embrace, they get pretty scary because you can't challenge them unless you have evasive, and you can't target them except by challenge, which you can't do unless you have evasive. So it makes for some really annoying scenarios. And your evasive cards, if you can just boost up, if they have good lore values, you can outspeed your opponent. See, it's not like you're trying to beat the opponent down to death. You're trying to build your own life, and it's really funny how like certain combos really bring out the best in this game. So that's my speech on evasive. Evasive is a reasonable ability. It's basically flying in Magic. The fact though that in the first set we have hexproof that you can give to these flyers, basically, for all you Magic folk out there. With the limited cards we have right now, I think it's pretty powerful in the first set. And that is going to be my thing on evasive. So, for all these evasive characters, my speech is basically going to be the same. Alright, Dragon Fire. This was the first action revealed. Banish was a character for 5, reasonable removal card. It's a good card, you'll see play. Mulan. I like this card a lot. So, 5 to play for a 4/5. It's a princess. It's gonna matter. Don't forget about these middle little things here. This will matter in the game, and we'll get to some payoffs. If not in this video, in more videos. Trust me. But anyway, her ability is lead by example. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, your other characters get +1 this turn. Imagine putting that on some evasive characters. That's pretty strong. Or just some real big busty characters. And there are combos in this game with princesses. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We will. But this is a good card. I'm just going to let you guys know right now. I see this has a lot of potential upward if built around properly. If it's not built around properly, then it's really bad. But if it's built around properly, you do some things and some stuff. Alright, Tigger. A 6 for a 4/4, 2 lore evasive. A little expensive, but that's fine. We have 5 Goofy for a 3/4, 2 evasive. I actually like this better than Tigger, just because it's 1 cost cheaper for the same amount of lore. The fact that it's evasive means your opponent has to have evasive to deal with it, which is already going to be hard to do. So the stat point totals might not matter too much. Unless it's the mirror match. But 3 versus 4, yeah, this card is just better than this card. Scar is a 4, can be used as ink. A 5/3, quest for 1. It's a beatdown card. It's just an aggressive card. Move on to Aladdin. This card is super interesting. It has shift 5, so you can either play it for 7 or shift 5, which is what you'll do. You can play it for ink as you want. It's a 5/5 that quests for 2. During your turn, when this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore and each opponent loses 2 lore. All the cards like this say each opponent, by the way. So like in multiplayer, this is the color to beat, probably. Or the ink to beat, I should say. That being said, this is actual steal. Like, this is life steal. You're stealing your opponent's lore, and you're giving it to yourself. That's huge. That's you know, there's not a lot of cards in this game right now that do that. I think off the top of my head, unless I'm forgetting something, it's 11:18 p.m. at night. I'm tired. I think this is the only card that really does that in this way. So that's pretty strong. I think Aladdin's a good card. I do. It's a build around for sure, but if you get it off, it's gonna be nuts. Don't forget that shift, as long as the character you're shifting on was on the turn on the board previously, it's unaffected by summoning sickness. So like if you have a cheap Aladdin and then turn 5 you shift onto this and you challenge and banish a character, you can do that right away and immediately reap the benefits from it. Card's pretty good. Build around, of course, pretty good, but pretty good. Donald Duck, 2 for 2, 3 for 1. It's just okay. Sergeant Tibbs, a 1, 2, 2 for 1. It's just okay. We have Rapunzel, letting down her hair. You love to see it. 6 to play, no ink, unfortunately, but 5, 4 for 2. When you play this character, each opponent loses a lore. This is a very specific build around. There are a lot there. This is like the Ruby starter deck. There are a lot of cards that just say your opponent loses lore. This is a build around strat. You're just going to be recycling cards that reduce lore. It's a princess that could also come in handy. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, it's a strat. It's a strategy. That's what it is. Pongo, a 4 for 2, 3 for 2. Evasive. So far, I like this better than Goofy and Tigger because it costs 1 less to play for the same lore value. Again, unless it's an evasive, unless also fighting against evasive, Pongo's going to give you big value here. All right, we have Gaston. Gaston's going to introduce a new ability to us called Reckless. This character can't quest and must challenge each turn if able. It's forced to attack. I am unsure how I feel about Reckless at this time. I haven't put in the proper testing with the Reckless cards. My thing here, I don't like them. Your opponent could set a trap with them, and that's it. They also have no lore. So, like, you just can't even quest with it if you want to. And you have to challenge. This is a very powerful card that can beat creatures. It will trade in the process. But it doesn't even have rush. So, like, I don't think Gaston is super good. I think it's playable. I think it will see play. And I think there might be some success to Gaston. But compared to the other cards in the set, I don't think it's as good as other things could be. We have 1 for Fan the Flames. Can be used as ink if you want to. Ready chosen character, they can't quest for the rest of the turn. You know what this card combos with really well? Aladdin. Because this is not once per turn. So, like, you could do this twice. That's pretty crazy. So, in the right deck, you have to remember that this card is technically a neg 1, right? You play it, you'll lose it immediately. And it's a brick. But if you use it on something that challenges and can survive the second challenge, well, then all of a sudden, you're gaining advantage from it. Or, sorry, not gaining advantage per se, but you're evening it out because the opponent's losing a card, and you lost a card for Fan the Flames. And something like Aladdin can really benefit from that. This card might scale really well as the game continues, right? The second chapter, the third chapter, whatever. Because maybe we get some really good attackers. And then for 1, you can just ready them. So I think this card is nifty and build-around-ish. I think it will see play. Next, we have Aladdin, a 3-drop Aladdin with Improvise. When you play this character, each opponent loses a lore. Yeah, build around, I'm telling you. Yeah, and yeah, it's a 2-2. That's okay, nothing crazy. You'll basically use this to shift. Yeah. Minnie Mouse, 1 for 1, 3 for 1 is whatever. This card is nuts. This card, it costs 7. Be prepared. This is Scar's big song in the Lion King movie before he murders Mufasa. Be prepared. Banish all characters. It's a board wipe for characters. The only reason there's 2 reasons why I think this card is just slightly better than Let It Go. The first reason is because Let It Go puts the card into ink. The second reason is because this puts all the cards in the graveyard. And its song requirement is a little harder. But besides that, it's a board wipe. If your opponent plays into be prepared, they deserve to lose. I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you can catch an opponent off guard and nuke 3 or more powerful characters with this card, you will win the game. It's a card that punishes players for going nuts. So if you have an opponent that's going nuts, you will win the game with a be prepared. If you don't, it's kind of whatever. It can't be used as ink, but maybe they start going nuts, you save it in your hand, it's okay. By the way, it's a song, but for 7, and it can be free. It can be a free board wipe. Yeah. Abu, 3 for a 3/2 for 2 lore. It's actually worse than like the 3 for 3 threes with 2. It's whatever. It's fine. Whatever. Okay. Scar. I like this Scar a lot. All the Scar cards in this set are really cool, I'm gonna say. So cost 8, can't be used as ink, but you can shift for 6. Okay. Rousing Speech. When you play this character, ready your characters cost 3 or less, they can't quest. This card has the potential to be devastating. And that's all I'm going to leave it with. If you have some good 3 cost or less cards that don't mind challenging, or you can sing them with songs or whatever, you're going to be in a very good spot. It is a build-around card. You have to build around it, but if you build around it properly, you can do some massive damage with this card. Then we have an Elsa, a 4 for 3/4 for 1 lore. Whenever you play a character named Anna, ready this character. Can't quest. You probably don't want to quest with it anyway because it costs 1. But 3 or 4, this card's okay. Build around card, just okay for build around card though. I think there's better build around cards. We have Poisoned Apple. It's a 3-cost item. You take a bite, you pay 1, you banish. Exert chosen character. If a princess character is chosen, banish her instead. This is a card that if we get sideboards, it'll be very good. If we don't get sideboards, it'll just be okay. Because in theory, right, you can exert a character and then just run over it with a challenge anyway. So it's not like a big deal, but banishing the character princess outright is powerful. And 3 costs for an item, that's okay. It's not a bad cost at all. Next up, we have LeFou. 2 for a 2/2 for 1 when you play this character, ready chosen character. It's another one of those 1-cost options we saw, only it's actually a body this time, so it doesn't make you lose advantage. LeFou is, I think, good. Very good card. Not even build around. I think this card has what it takes to see meta play in a more aggro deck. And I think it will see play. I think it'll see play. Captain Hook. This is a 7-cost Captain Hook. It better be good for 7. It's a 5/5 for 2. Can't be used as ink. It has rush. It can challenge the turn it's played. It can't quest, but it can challenge. The ability You Coward. When this character is exerted, opposing characters with evasive gain reckless. This card is very, very good in the mirror match if they're playing evasive cards. It basically makes them suicide bomb all their evasive characters. That's a very good card. A very situational card. It just doesn't do anything if they don't have evasive cards. Again, side decks, this card could be really good. Otherwise, I don't think it's actually amazing. Okay at best, otherwise. Cut to the chase for 2 and ink. Chosen character gains rush for his turn. That maybe. I doubt it. It's not as good as like LeFou or it's even Fan the Flames, but like I doubt it'll see play. I really do. Tangle. Each opponent loses a lore. This is a neg 1. I don't think it's going to see play. At least the other cards are bodies, and they stay on the board and can do things after they play. This is just gone at first time use. I don't like it. He's got a sword. Chosen character is +2 this turn. Nice little boost. Sure, why not? If you can combine this with cards like LeFou on a bigger character that can challenge twice all of a sudden, could get really nasty, maybe, against wider boards. A situational card. Probably, honestly, not amazing, but I'm sure it will see play in the meta. Then we have the Sword of Truth. Banish this item, banish chosen villain character for 4. Not a bad card. If side decks are a thing, way better, but otherwise, not bad. You might play this card in your deck, you might not have any villains, it might be a brick, so you just need to be careful with it. 5 for Captain, a 6/5 for 1. It's vanilla as it gets, it's fine. Stitch, a 6 for a 4/6 for 3. good vanilla that exerts for 3, fine. You know, that's not bad. That's not bad. It's okay. It's better than okay for vanillas. Shield of Virtue. 1 item. 1-drop item. Can be used as ink. Has fireproof. You tap for pay 3. When chosen character, they can't quest for the rest of the turn. This is another LeFou type card. Only it's once per turn and it costs 3. Reasonable card is reasonable. Build around card, of course, gets better in more aggressive big body decks. But the fact that you just have access to this every turn is not bad. I will say it'll probably see meta play. Maui. Okay, we were talking about Gaston, right? He didn't have Rush and had Reckless. This has Rush. This card is infinitely better than Gaston. Costs 5. It's a little more expensive, but can be used as ink. It's a 6/5. It's going to Rush. It's going to Reckless. It will kill something when you play this card. So there you go. That's it. I think this card's good. I think this card will see play. It's basically a removal character. And it'll probably take out 2 characters. We have Moana, the Chosen by the Ocean. 5 for 2/6 for 2. When you play this character, you may banish chosen character named Tekka. Unless we enter a meta where Tekka is just the meta, this card is useless. Peter Pan. 3 can't be used for ink. 3/2 Rush. It can challenge turns played. It's okay. And that's all I'm going to leave it as. It's just okay. It can't be used as ink. I'm not a fan of the card, but it'll probably see a little bit of play. Maybe. This card's objectively worse than a lot of things we've seen so far in this color. Final card is Tekka. It's a 6 for an 8/6 with Reckless. If it had Rush, it would be crazy. It does not have Rush. It is just okay. But an 8/6 is really powerful. It might see play just because of that. And that is all for the Ruby cards. I think this video went a little bit longer than they usually do, but I have a lot more to say about the Ruby cards. You know, they're very interesting. They either play the lifesteal game, or they play the evasive game, or they play the multi-attack game, which can be in tandem with the lifesteal. So, like, there's a lot of cool things you can do. You can be very aggressive with this color and this ink, and I think this is a very viable strategy going into set 1. Played properly, of course. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. What's your favorite Ruby card? I will see you later. Bye.